What's going on, guys? Skinny Rider here. Back at you with another video. Not my 570, but customer's 570. As you can see, we got a little bit of stuff done to it. I installed a 3,500 pound Mad Dog lift. So, got the winch here, got my winch wires ran over to the solenoid over there. It's really the only place to put it. Not too fond of this winch. They didn't give me any extra connectors, so I had to use the entire lines. But I connected them over there. Ran them, had to take off this plastic. There's 5 little pop rivets that hold in the plastic inner fender well plastic. Had to pop this off. Something that, and I watched Diego Perez's video, something he doesn't say, make sure you take these off before and pull the screen out. Disconnect it before you pop this off. Almost broke the LCD screen. That would not have been cheap to fix. So you pull your seat off, which this was a booger to get off, but you pull your seat off, you just pop up on this, slide it out, take these 4 screws out, 1, 2, 3, 4, push down, and LCD screen pops out, disconnect it, lay that aside. He's got a back seat for his dog, so I did that. And this, you literally just yank up on it. That gives you access to all of this. That's how I ran the winch in and winch out switch right here. And yes, it does clear. Whoop. It does clear right there. Barely clears, but it clears. So, you can hear it. Winch in and winch out. There, free spool works. Now, what I was liking about this winch, which you can't see, the lighting in my shop is terrible. I got to get the other pods mounted up here so I can actually light this thing. But it did give you didn't have to guesstimate. Plus, with the winch in and winch out switch, it gave you the option to run it to, you might be able to see, maybe not. Let's see. Right there's a connector for the solenoid. The only thing I don't like about that is if your solenoid ever goes out, you have to get with Mad Dog to get you a new solenoid. It is pretty chilly out here in Texas. I think it's like 30 degrees. I think. So I got my little heater here. It doesn't really work. I need to get my other big heater out here. But I drilled 4 holes in the top. That took care of that. Bolted it down. I do this with most of my winches just because of the fact that, hey, if you ever need slack, you can. I ran this because it looks a lot cleaner if you run it up underneath for whatever reason. And up because it gave me the frame rail in this one. Instead of just following that, I ran it around and it kind of follows up this. So it kind of looks, that's just me. I don't know. We'll find out if the customer likes it. But you can see the solenoid right there. Connectors all zip tied. The power wire, the ground wire, or the winch positive, winch negative, and then they reverse polarities when you winch out. And then you got your 12 volt reference, which is that little red wire right there. This little wire right here. This little wire right here. Ran those up, zip tied them around the frame. That's fucking ugly. I hate it, but I could not find any of the other the little ends to crimp onto the ends, so I couldn't cut the wires and restrip them. Kind of ticked me off. I'm going to tell the guy to bring it back later whenever he gets time, whenever they got time and I got downtime. I'm in the middle of still tearing down my 420. I got the winch bracket in, or the lift bracket, the new lift bracket in. So I have to put that on, and then I've got to go and get the rest of my parts for the rear end. So I just did this as a side gig. The next thing I gotta do is I got my buddy's razor. Shout out to Let It Eat on Instagram. We are going to take these broken ass pieces of crap off and install that light bar down here with these GS Power brackets. And then we're going to figure out why it is. I think it's the belt. We're going to pull the belt box cover off and see why it's kind of sluggish. This thing, this 570, I've driven it once. Man, I got to say, I hate Can-Ams. But for the size comparison of that four-wheeler, I would buy a Can-Am. Now, the owner of this did do the radiator relocate. That's why there's so much room underneath there. It's the factory radiator relocate from Can-Am. Yes, I know it looks like the XMR. The normal snorkels, if I can figure out, I can't remember how this pops off, but normal, this would be your, I'm pretty sure your belt box intake or exhaust, and then your intake and exhaust would be over here. You get a new bezel and everything. But for the power this thing has, man, it's actually pretty nice. It still has power steering. It's actually really nice to ride. Might actually end up going and get me one. He does have the seat on here, which I really do like this seat because it's a two-part compartment seat. Latches are really nice. Latch, they actually do lock too. They both latch. They both lock. That one's kind of worn out, but and it's actually comfortable. So when you sit up here in the back, you're up away from the rider, the driver. The kit that this thing came with this little stupid non-waterproof connector. But everything else was waterproof. That's what boggled my mind. So, guys, just keep this out. Just check this out. Got this for $19 off Amazon. Heat shrink wire connectors. These are waterproof. The connection part is waterproof. $19. Also got, let me move this tire out of the way. I also keep color pins. And if I'm doing butt splices, these heat shrink and solder, I got this off of Amazon too. Which I have had to use these if this thing will open without spilling all of them. I've had to use this. These things are amazing. Lifesavers. Guys, that is about it. I will wash this thing up. It is kind of dirty as opposed to this one. Just kind of dingy and faded. I'll clean those up for him as opposed to mine. Nice and clean. I mean, it does have some cow manure and horse manure on places. It's been using it at the ranch, but other than that, it is good. But yeah, I will clean this thing up. It looks pretty decent in pictures. You can see some of the dirt, especially there. But guys, that is it. This winch install was really easy. Can-Am on their bumpers. Literally, I didn't have to use that winch plate. I didn't have to go buy a special winch plate. It literally bolted straight to the bumper. The Fairlead bolted straight up, which I advised him to get a Fairlead like mine. But he said he didn't want to. When you install a synthetic rope, you want to get a Fairlead like this, which just came off my Champion winch that I have. Now I have a Quad Boss winch, which I'm going to end up changing this out to the Quad Boss one that came, but I'm getting this one powder coated. It's in there somewheres. and that bunch of stuff. He said don't worry about it, so we're sticking with a roller. But installed that. That was easy. That took me about maybe 10 minutes at the most. I drilled the 3 holes, mounted that with the supplied hardware, and then running the wires was really what took the longest. It took me about an hour to run the wires to my liking. Now, these plastics are a pain in the ass to take off, and that was what took the longest, was getting the plastics off. And the seat's actually a pain in the ass to get on, or I'd take it off. But that's what really got me, is running the wires, getting it all to my fancy, as I like to say. And then going and riding it, doing a shakedown real quick. This bike, if you can see, is fairly new. They've only got, how many miles on this thing? Come on, baby. Gotta hit that little switch right there. It doesn't turn on. They've only got, there's 2 little 4-wheel. Let's see. I guess it doesn't say on here how many miles they have on this thing. Trying to figure it out. Normally there's a button right here where you can switch. Lights. They don't have that many miles on this damn thing. It's 2021. They just got it. Of course, that is off by a long shot. I don't remember how to set that. I'm going to have to find the owner's manual and see how to set that, because I disconnected the battery. But this thing, I mean, it fires right up. It sounds just like a Can-Am. I'm in my garage, so I really don't want to do it. I'll get it out tomorrow morning. But yeah, for being a 570, this thing's got a bunch of power. And they've only had it out on one ride. I know that for a fact. I'm pretty sure they said they put about 30 miles on it. Got stuck once. He's got an 2018 Renegade. Whatever the race model is that he put a winch on. We're looking at doing a radiator relocate. But as far as the XMR and this goes, this bike set up the way it was with the radiator relocate and non-snorkels. If he would have added the snorkels, it would have been an extra $250. It actually came out $250 cheaper to buy the 570 versus the 570 XMR. Now, granted, you don't get the tires, you don't get the wheels, you don't get the gear reduction in the motor. So really, if you think about it, yes, but if I was just going to buy a mud bike, I was going to throw some 28s on and a clutch kit, I'd get a 570. Plus, they come with better color options. Guys, I just thought that would be a quick little install video on this. Really, honestly, it was kind of stupid to make because I'm so meticulous, but the winch bolted up easy as pie. 4 bolts, literally took me 5 minutes to do that. I put the fair lead on first, bolted that in, got it tight. Then I put this winch in, got it tight. Then I ran the wires back through up to the back to the battery box. Literally, there's 5 little clips, like they're the little clips, the push pin clips, like this. 5 little push pin clips like that. Take that off, and then there's 2 and a screw right here you have to take off. You take your seat off, do these 4 screws, pop that out, then yank on this, that pulls out after you've taken this out. And then there's 1 push pin clip back in there. You can kind of see it. That one folds, so you pull this out, lift up, it all comes out, even this piece. And then you just run your wires. Connect it to the battery negative, battery positive at the back. You're good. One tip I will say, if you're connecting battery to it, take the little washer that's up top of the screw, take that off. Everything will slide in, it'll give me more clearance and everything. And guys, that's about it. It took me about an hour, honestly, to do. Then I went back and zip tied everything just to make it clean. And then moved a little wires here and there. That was just me being anal. But that was about it, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Like, subscribe if y'all want more videos like this. Let me know in the comments what y'all like to see. I do work on four-wheelers. Of course, I will be posting a video of how to reinstall and fix the rear diff on a Honda 420 500, because the 500 is the same way. All right, guys, I'll catch y'all later.